Hey guys, I made it back home. I'm currently breastfeeding Langston. You'll probably hear him gulping in the background. I do plan to give y'all a little haul and then I'm gonna eat. Uh yep. I hope you guys are having a good day. In the meantime and in between time, I'm gonna go ahead and read my verses that I need to read for today. If you guys aren't doing anything, try to read chapters 5 through 8 in Deuteronomy. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Deuteronomy, okay, in the Bible. I'm currently now in the chapter. I mean, in that chapter or in that book, yeah, in that book in the Bible. Okay, there we go. So I'm in that book in the Bible, and it's basically about you know, the people finally leaving. So I'm left. I'm out of Numbers. I'm in Deuteronomy. So they're basically coming into the Promised Land, and God is giving them through Joshua and Moses and everybody the messages on how to honor him, respect him. So giving the 10 Commandments and things to abide by once they enter into the Promised Land. So they're finally making that from that 40 year 40 year long I guess trial in the wilderness. They're leaving out of the wilderness and finally coming into the Promised Land. And so yeah, and it's so crazy and it's unfortunate that Moses couldn't be a part of that, but I definitely understand. Y'all know when God tell y'all to do something, you just gotta do it, bro, because is you don't want to miss out on the things that God is planning to bless you with by disobedience or by being hard-hearted or by being stubborn. Even as frustrated as you can be, whether it's with people, if God is telling you to give to somebody, give to them. Don't be stingy, because God is using you as that vessel to bless somebody else. God wants to bless that person, and he needs you to be the vessel to do it. So, don't block that blessing. And I be having to tell myself, God, I don't want to be hard hearted. I don't want to be stubborn. I don't want to not only lose my blessings because I'm holding back somebody else's blessing. Like, we can be very selfish with the gift that God has given us, and we just think it's just for our own use. If you see somebody that is out there and they're struggling in life, or if you have a uplifting word that you can give somebody, or something that you can give somebody, give to them. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I hate when I'm doing something and people can openly see that I'm struggling, and I know that they can help me, but they just choose not to. And it's like, okay, cool, like maybe that was from a challenge for me, because sometimes we can also get in the way of people's uh I wouldn't necessarily say karma, but what's coming on to them, what they brought on to themselves, and end up hurting ourselves, because that was their lesson that they were supposed to learn. But we are not the dictators of the lessons that people are supposed to learn either. And I had to learn that the hard way, because you want people to learn um, by doing you wrong, but it's just like, let God do that. Not even in a revenge way, but just to, you know what, I ain't even gonna mess with you, but God got it. So just leave it alone. But in what I'm saying in this aspect is, say you got something that you can teach other people, and you choose to just watch them hurt themselves when you know better. It's kind of like when you teach children. You wouldn't let your kid jump, let's say, into a puddle knowing that they're gonna get wet. As much as they want to jump into that puddle, they don't know no better. So it's like, now you done messed your clothes up. But then it's just like, oh well, that's what he get. Are you serious? That's the kind of person you're gonna be? That's what they get kind of person? These people don't know any better. Some people honestly don't know any better. And if you're watching them struggle, you're no better than anybody else. Like, you're literally not a bad person, but that was wrong of you to watch somebody, you know, do that to themselves, bring harm to themselves. You gotta treat people like kids sometimes. I don't like that, and I personally don't like to be like that. Even as ignorant as an idea that somebody might have, I ain't gonna be like, oh yeah, let them go ahead and see it. It's kind of, now if you lead somebody to the water, you can't make them drink. So God is giving you the tools to give to that person. It's up to them now to decide what they do with that tool. But you did the right thing by giving them that tool, right? And telling them how to do it. But you can't force them to do whatever it is, like, so don't even worry about that. That's, we get too involved in the things that people have to do with their own lives, and I can openly admit that, because it's like, you know, you want to help somebody, and then you're just trying to push them into the water. You're gonna drown them, like you forcing this onto them. I'm sorry, I'll be using analogies a lot, but like, you leading the horse to the water, you can't make them drink, and then you forcing their head in the water, you're gonna drown the horse. Like, so it's just important that you just, here you go, I'm helping you, use these tools. But don't watch people suffer, y'all. Do not force them. You see that horse over there starving himself, say, hello, horse, let me take you to the water, because sometimes we just don't know. Now, you tell the horse, you show the horse, this is what we do. We drink the water, and they don't drink the water. That's on them. Now they finna starve. But we got it in us to teach other people to do it, because not everybody knows like you. And it's selfish because you're holding back that gift. You're holding back that gift, and you keeping it to yourself. You gatekeeping your own gift. You gotta share that with other people, bro. Don't be stingy with it, cause you if you don't use it, you lose it, literally. And that came into my mind today when I was thinking about a lot, and about the people that I'm around, how what I surround myself around, and then not even just that, but like how I know how challenging it is for certain things in my life and areas in my life, and how I've seen people literally watch me struggle, and then they be like, oh, well, you didn't know that? No, I didn't. And you knew, okay, that perfect. Or I despise when, you can reach out to someone and not even be asking for help, but people be like, oh, well, why didn't you do this, or why didn't you do that, blah blah. Like, for instance, I get on the phone with my sister, and she's the kind of person, I wouldn't say she don't try hard, because this girl is a hard working girl. She had something to do with her school insurance, and I said, well, did you waive it? I hope y'all can see my boo. And she was like, no, because they told me this, but I knew better. I knew that they were wrong, but they basically like denied me. And I'm like, girl, no, because if your insurance is active, then you can waive. Basically, y'all, if you have active insurance on your own, you can waive your college insurance, because they'll try to give you health insurance with the college. And I was telling her that, and I was like, if you got your insurance number, or like your member ID, that's probably all you need. If you don't have your updated picture of it, then let me help you, right? And that's another thing, we have to be able to help people. Me and my sister are both two people that don't like asking people for help, because we've been met with like the we don't really want to help you. But then we've also had some very generous people in our lives as well, so don't get me wrong. But I was like, girl, I could have helped you with that, but it's unfortunate now, because like the deadline's over and she didn't do it, so she kind of just accepted that. It's important to continue to fight. She fights in certain areas, like, of course you got to pick and choose your battles, but financially, y'all, ain't none of us rich. So coming from a viewpoint of me being her, I'm only a year older than her, but being her bigger sister, and I'm always very protective of her. Yes, I want her to learn, but if I have the tools to teach her, then I'm gonna give her certain things so that she doesn't have to learn that same lesson, because it's like, you learned that lesson for a reason. And if you being bitter and hard-hearted, like, well, I had to learn it, that is so I do not like, bro, I'm getting frustrated. I do not like people like that. What kind of person are you to even think that way? That is a very negative way of thinking. Do you not know that? I'm sorry, y'all, it's getting dark in here because it's late. But do you not know that? That's a very negative way of thinking. Well, I had to learn the hard way. How dare you? How dare you? There would be less people struggling if you gave them the tools. We want to be so selfish with the gifts that you didn't even come up with those gifts on your own. You got this I, me, my, mine mindset, but it's God then you. And if you don't, obviously I know some people don't believe in God, but that gift didn't come from nowhere. It had to come from above. Whether you believe or not, I know there is a God, and I know there is one God, the one and true God, and he gives us gifts and he blesses us. He is good to all. The Lord is good to all, even to us who are, some of us who are undeserving. You get it? I feel like I've been very undeserving of a lot of things that I have been given in this life, but I wouldn't want to be one of those people who would be like, oh, but you got to learn it on your own. I had to learn it on my own. Think of people as literal children. You wouldn't look at your child and let them suffer. You wouldn't. Now, what I'm saying is, and listen to me clearly, hear me well. You teach people, and if they choose not to learn from you, then that's where you just, okay, you take your step back, and then they learn their lesson. But if you didn't even try to help them, then it's just like, there ain't even no point in looking down on that person. Ain't no point in looking down on them, talking about them, nothing. Be like, oh, that child don't know nothing. Well, did you try to help them? Did you try to teach them? No. A lot of the things I had to learn on my own because nobody necessarily taught me. And if I got that in me to look at my sister and tell her, hey, this is what you can do, now she knows for next time. And if she chooses not to do it, then, next time around she'll have to pay that bill again, or it'll come out of her financial aid if, financial aid. Well, heck, the girl, I ain't even finna put her business out there, but she's doing great, so she ain't even gotta worry about that right now. And if she chooses, whatever. So, very proud of my sister. She's grown up a lot, and which is why I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is someone who's just grown before my eyes, y'all. So, I just say a whole lot of. I don't like when people do certain things to me, so I try not to be like that, and I try not to put people down, because sometimes people be afraid to speak up, but it's like, bro, if you got, sometimes it's if it's on your heart, you gotta say it, you gotta do it. Because I'd be scared, but I have become more open. Y'all, I have watched myself grow. Like, I used to be so shy or anxious being, where I wouldn't even want to, like, be out in public by myself, go places by myself, or whatever. Being a grocery shopper, a shipped shopper, I literally have to go into stores and shop for other people. But I guess because I'm doing it for them other people, I feel less anxious about it. And that's fine. Because now, like, when I go to the store by myself, I don't feel as anxious. And then most of the time, if I do end up going shopping for myself, I'll have Langston or I'll have Jelani with me. Sometimes there have been times where I've had neither one of them, but that hasn't been a lot because, if it's two parents, we can take the load off of each other. One got one of them, one got the other. Especially if, like, if you ain't going to the store for nothing but something little. So, all right, you finna try to expose me, Langston. But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna give y'all the haul in a second. I think he about done. So yeah.